Hello everyone from H School. This is a reading for teenagers. Today we'll be reading Ulysses and we'll be reading chapters 7. Chapter 7. Home at last. For the first time in 20 years, Ulysses woke up on his home island. A lady nearby was watching him. "The goddess Athene," whispered Ulysses. "You can't go home yet," she said. "You've been away so long, everyone thinks you're dead. Things have changed. Many men are at the palace now. They want to marry your wife, Penelope, and kill your son, Telemachus." Athene had a plan. She gave Ulysses a disguise and sent him to the pig keeper's hut. "No one will know it's you." The pig keeper thought Ulysses was a hungry beggar. He invited him in for some food and a chat. Then Athene sent Ulysses' son, Prince Telemachus, to the same hut. When the pig keeper was out of the room, Athene used her magic to remove Ulysses' disguise. "Dad?" Telemachus was no longer looking at the beggar. He was looking at his father. Quickly, Ulysses and his son talked about how to save Penelope and the kingdom. The next day, Ulysses went to the palace with the pig keeper. Once again, he was in disguise. "If you want King Ulysses' palace, it's over there." Ulysses pretended to beg inside the great hall. Dozens of men were feasting and boasting about who would marry Queen Penelope. "How dare they talk about my wife? She's mine! No, she's mine!" They only gave Ulysses a few crumbs to eat. "Go away, you smelly beggar," they said. When Queen Penelope heard there was a beggar in the palace, she asked her nurse to fetch him. "Maybe he has news of Ulysses," she said to herself. "Don't be sad," said Ulysses. "Your husband is very close by." He hid his face so that Penelope wouldn't recognize him. Suddenly, the goddess Athene put an idea into Penelope's head. "I know. Tomorrow, I'll give those men an impossible challenge." That night, Ulysses slept on the floor at the great hall. In the morning, the men arrived as usual. They were surprised when they saw Queen Penelope carrying Ulysses' bow. "Gentlemen," she announced, "I will marry the man who can use this bow. All he needs to do is shoot an arrow through these 12 axes. They're very heavy." She gave the bow to a servant and left the hall. All the men wanted to show their strength and win the queen. "I've almost done it." They tried and they tried, but none of them could even put the string on the bow. Oof! When the men gave up, Ulysses stepped forward. "May I try?" At first the men laughed, but Ulysses didn't listen. He picked up the bow, put on the string, and fired an arrow straight through the axes. The men gasped as Athene changed back Ulysses' rags into his clothes. "I am King Ulysses, and I have come to reclaim my kingdom." Ulysses and Telemachus fought all the men who wanted to steal the kingdom. The men tried to escape, but the doors were locked. Soon, Ulysses and his son had killed them all. Gulp. I think we're history. When Penelope heard what had happened, she rushed into the hall. Could this man really be Ulysses? Maybe the gods were tricking her. It's me, darling. How can I be sure? Penelope thought of one last test. She asked the nurse to move the bed out of her room so this stranger could rest on it. But that's impossible, said Ulysses. I built the bedroom around a tall olive tree. The bed is part of the tree. Oh, Ulysses, it really is you, said Penelope, smiling. After years of travel and trouble, the family was together at last. This is the end of the story. Metti un like e condividila con i tuoi amici. See you soon!